What is up, guys? It's TheGreatWall back at it again with another video. Today I am here with the White Sox Add A Legend challenge, slash rebuild slash sim, whatever you want to call it. It is going to be basically the same format as the one with the Nationals. We are going to add a legend to this team every year until we eventually win a World Series. This roster is absolutely dreadful. Um, that being said, I do want to kind of make it a rule for the sake of the challenge that we have to keep at least one position player on this team, no matter what team we're doing. Um, I don't know about starting pitching. I think for now I'm just going to do one fielder. I already know right now it's going to be Luis Robert Jr. He's the only one that's good on this team. But that being said, we are going to go ahead. We're going to sim out the first year and see how everything looks. Alright, we are at the All-Star break. The Home Run Derby, we shouldn't have anyone here. And we don't. Um, you know the drill. Let's see if we have any all-stars. Well, we do have to have an all-star. The question is, who's it gonna be? I hope. I'm guessing. Wow, it's Jordan Leisure. This guy's pitched in 65 games and has a sub-3 ERA. Good for him. Do we have anyone else? Colson Montgomery. All right. So we do have two. Not bad. Let's finish out the rest of this year. Alright, they finished 64 and 98, which actually is a lot better than I thought they were going to do. That being said, I'm not going to look at all the league leader stuff until we start making the playoffs consistently. But batting war, do we have anyone here? Show me like a Luis Robert Jr. There we go, 3.5 up to 79. Alright. Who else do we have? Probably nobody now. Pitching wise, do we have a single player? We have Owen White. That's it. All right. That being said, I'm going to go sign, or I'm going to add a player to this team. I'll see you guys when I'm done with that. Actually, wait, hold on. I lied. Awards. I'm not going to go through them all, really. I'm just going to go quick if you want to stop. Luis Robert Jr. Luis Robert Jr., 5th for Silver Slugger. All right. That being said, now I'm going to go add a player. I'm guessing you guys will probably guess who it is, but I'm going to go add him, and then we will continue simming. Alright, the first player we had to add to this team was Frank Thomas. Let's be real. You guys knew it was going to be Frank. I love Frank the Tank. He is a beast, of course. Will be playing first base for us for a while, so. Yeah, other than that, the team still looks absolutely terrible. Let's just get straight into it, because we got a lot of seasons to go. Alright, we're at the Home Run Derby. I'm expecting Frank Thomas to be here, and he is with 32 tanks. Frank is going to probably be our all-star if I had to take a guess. Yes, he is. Anyone else, though, just for the fun of it? Let's just take a quick look. Frank Thomas in 327. Don't expect much less from him. Yeah, so it is going to be Frank the Tank, who is an absolute beast of a player. Love Frank. So yeah, let's finish out the rest of the season and see how this team does. The addition of Frank Thomas gave this team 77 wins. If Frank Thomas doesn't win an MVP, I'd be very pissed. Frank Thomas led the league in just about everything. Alright. He was 4th for batting average. He had the highest batting war. I'm not going to look through everything because this is all I needed to see, but batting war. Show me Luis Robert. Show me him here as well, please. That would be very nice if you could do that for me. Luis Robert, 2.8, alright. Pitching wise, did we have anyone? Damn. Davis Martin. Yeah, that's going to be it. Alright, awards. What did Frank Thomas win? Probably everything. Hank Aaron and MVP. I'd expect nothing less from the tank himself. Got till 2nd for MVP or Rookie of the Year. But Hank Aaron goes to Frank Thomas. I mean, he deserves it. 56 home runs, hell of a season. That being said, we don't make the postseason, so I'm going to add another legend, and then we will continue with our sim. Alright, the next player we are going to be adding is Paul Konerko. Another first baseman. I know what you're thinking. Why would I do another first baseman? Well, we have a DH spot. Paul Konerko is a White Sox legend, so I figured why not? We'll add him to this team alongside Frank Thomas, and we'll see how they do. All right, we are at the All-Star break. Home Run Derby. Should we have two players in here? Maybe, but we only have one. It is Frank the Tank. He's gonna do what Frank the Tank does. Just hit 318, because why not? Um, let's see. All-Stars, we should hopefully have two. At least two. Yes, we do. We don't have a starter, though, but we do have the two other goats that we have at first base. One of which is a DH, obviously. It is Paul Konerko, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Paul Konerko is our DH, so makes sense. But let's finish out the rest of this year. Alright, so the addition of Paul Konerko does make our record go down a little bit, but I'm pretty sure last year was a fluke anyway, so that's okay. League leaders, Frank Thomas only leads in runs, so he didn't carry as hard as usual. And then we have the awards. Colson Montgomery wins Rookie of the Year. But other than that, we don't have anything else. It just seems like Frank Thomas had like less of like a crazy year than he did last year. Batting WAR, yeah, Frank Thomas 6.4. Luis Robert with a 6 though. He had a great year. Paul Konerko 4.3 in his first year in this sim. I'm guessing those are going to be our only three players. Should I even look at the pitchers? Do we have anyone with a positive WAR? Would not appear so. Alright, you know the drill. I'm going to go find a player, and yeah. Alright, in year 3 we do add Carlton Fisk. I would like to say that I didn't make either of these guys. I downloaded them from the vault, so shout out to whoever made them. A lot of the times if there's a player who's not in the game, I do download it from someone else in the vault. I will change some stats to like boost them a little bit. Like Carlton Fisk, I did boost his stats because he was pretty good with the White Sox. And the person who made this made him like an 87 or something. So he was actually very good with the White Sox. So that being said, Carlton Fisk is who we add. We still have Paul Konerko. We still have we now add Carlton Fisk. Is this team a playoff team? Absolutely not. But we are getting closer. So that being said, let's go ahead. Let's start simming. All right, we're at the All-Star break. See if we have anyone in the home run derby. We do. Frank Thomas is back, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Frank the Tank does what Frank the Tank does, as usual. We should hopefully have 3 people in the All-Star game. We have 2 that I can see. Any pitching? No. Carlton Fisk is having himself a great year, hitting 314. Frank the Tank and Paul Konerko. I would like to see I was just about to say I'd like to see Luis Robert one year. He does make it, so we have 4 players. Paul Konerko isn't starting over. Why is he not starting over Jose Altuve? He has more home runs, better batting average. I mean, he has 13 less stolen bases. I don't know. That being said, let's finish out the rest of the year. See how they finish. We finished 81 and 81, which is a very solid season. League leaders, Frank the Tank is back. You do like to see it. Paul Konerko wins a batting title. Alright. Carlton Fisk had an 8.9 batting WAR. Hell of a year from him. Let's see, where is Frank? Frank 5.1, Paul 5.1, Luis Robert 4.7. Anyone else on this team? I doubt it. Oh, Mike Talkman, good for him. Any pitchers? It would not appear so. Oh, never mind. We have Davis Martin. Surprise, surprise. And that is it. Awards. Carlton Fisk wins the Hank Aaron. Paul Konerko wins MVP and the batting title. Hell of a year from this team. That being said, we're going to go find another player, add them to this team, and see if that's a difference it makes. Alright, so the next player we add might be controversial, but it is going to be Shoeless Joe Jackson. He was amazing on the White Sox. Obviously, the cheating scandal kind of ruined his career a little bit, but he was a beast. So nonetheless, we're going to give him a second chance, see if he can help lead this team to a playoff berth. Alright, we're at the All-Star break. Home run derby, do we have anyone? We have 2 players. Paul Konerko has 39 home runs, and Frank Thomas has 29. Good for the 2 of them. Very good. That being said, actually, I just want to see where our players rank the specific ones: Carlton Fisk, number 1, Paul Konerko, and Frank Thomas. And Luis Robert in second. Shoeless Joe Jackson in first for right field. Wow, his power has gone up a lot. Good for him. 17 home runs, 17 stolen bases. Not bad. And then obviously Paul Konerko DH. So very good. Let's go finish out the year. We have finished 91 and 71 and won the division. So I'm starting to think that adding hitting to the team is more important than pitching, because when I did a few hitters and then a lot of pitchers, we didn't even make the playoffs for like another 3 or 4 years with the Nationals. That being said, league leaders, wow, they went off. Batting war, Frank Thomas with a 9.2, Carlton Fisk with a 7, Shoeless Joe with a 6.8, Paul Konerko with a 5.7, Luis Robert with a 5. I mean, geez, you give Luis Robert some help, he will show out for you. That's what I like to see. Any pitchers doing anything important or fun? I doubt it. Oh, Jonathan Cannon with a 2.5. All right. Awards. Gold Glove, Shoeless Joe. Hank Aaron wins. Hank Aaron. Frank Thomas wins a Hank Aaron. Shoeless Joe wins AL Rookie of the Year. Paul Konerko MVP. And batting title of Frank Thomas. Holy 58 tanks from Paul Konerko in the 2-hole. I do like that. It seems like people are afraid to face him, or afraid to face Frank Thomas, so they pitch to him. That is cracked. All right. Who are we facing? The Blue Jays. Oh no, hold on. Oh no, hold on. Okay, so they have the big four here. That is fine. They have the big four. All right. We do go on to face Texas, and we sweep Texas. No way we win a World Series already. And we win the World Series in 4 seasons. No, 5 seasons. Fuck it, I want to keep going with this team. We're just getting started. So we finished the challenge in 5 seasons. All right. Nick Maton wins World Series MVP, playoff MVP to Paul Konerko. I want to keep going, though. I want to go for another few more seasons. I want to add some more players to this team. That being said, we completed the challenge. It took us adding 4 players to this team for them to win a World Series. All right. That being said, we are going to go ahead. We are going to add another player to this team. I just want to keep having fun with this. I actually enjoyed this series. I really enjoyed doing this. So I'm going to keep adding players and see if we can make this team even better and better. All right, our big addition for the year is Chris Sale. The team won a World Series last year. So obviously, technically, we already completed the challenge, but throw Chris Sale in here, see how he does. Yeah, that being said, let's go see if we can go back to back. All right, we're at the All-Star break, Home Run Derby. We have Paul Konerko again and Frank Thomas, both absolute beasts. Let's look at the All-Star voting. See where Mr. Chris Sale is. He's not bad. He's doing okay. Obviously, catcher Carlton Fisk, not having a great season. The two-headed first base monster, of course, doing what they do. Luis Robert Jr. not having a good year. Shoeless Joe Jackson having a great year, though. So yeah, let's finish out the rest of the year and see if they can go back to back. All right, so we do actually get worse with the addition of Chris Sale. I had a feeling last season was an obvious fluke, but Chris Sale led the league in strikeouts, and then Frank Thomas, they do what they do. Frank Thomas, Shoeless Joe Jackson, Carlton Fisk. Show me Paul Konerko too, 5.3. Luis Robert Jr. with a 4.2. Let's see, who else? Anyone else? No. Pitching war. Chris Sale, 4.2. I do like to see that. Anyone else? Davis Martin with a 1.8. Alright. That being said, though, check out the awards. Chris Sale, Cy Young. Shoeless Joe Jackson, Gold Glove. Hank Aaron goes to Frank Thomas. Rookie of the Year, Shoeless Joe Jackson. MVP, Frank Thomas. Batting title, Frank Thomas. Triple Crown, Frank Thomas. Wow. Have yourself a year. That being said, let's go add another player to this team and try to improve it a little bit more. All right, the next player we are adding is Eddie Collins. Very good player. Plays second base, which is a position we needed. So, yeah, that being said, this team is very good. Obviously, not great. We already won a World Series, like I keep mentioning, because it still is shocking to me. But that one felt like a fluke. I want to have like a great season where we win one. So that being said, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna start simming. All right, we are at the home run derby. Let's see how this goes. Paul Konerko, Frank Thomas, you know the drill. Um, All-star voting, the entire right side of the field is ours. Chris Sale, #1, doing his job. Carlton Fisk doing a job behind the plate. Frank Thomas, Paul Konerko, both absolute beasts. Eddie Collins, 31 stolen bases already. We do like to see that. Center field, Luis Robert Jr. also doing a great job. And then shoeless Joe Jackson. Paul Konerko in the DH spot. So we do like what we're seeing. Let's finish out the year. All right, we do finish 92 and 70, which is very good, obviously. Chris Sale leads the league in strikeouts. Frank Thomas, they go off. Eddie Collins, 8.9 WAR. Shoeless Joe, 8.7. Frank Thomas, 7.3. Carlton, 6.6. Paul Konerko with a 5.5, 5.4. Luis with a 4.4. Anyone else? No. Pitching WAR, Chris Sale with a 4.6. Very good. Very good. Let us see. Anyone else? Does not look like it. Alright, let's see how they do. Oh, actually, you know the drill. Awards. Chris Sale wins the Cy Young. Frank Thomas wins the Hank Aaron. Shoeless Joe wins the Rookie of the Year. Frank Thomas wins MVP. Eddie Collins wins the batting title. What was his batting average? 336. Alright. With 55 stolen bases. Beautiful. Alright. You know the drill. Auto fix the lineups. And we do get swept by our division rivals. It's unfortunate, but you know what that means? We're going to add another player to this team. Alright, the next player we are adding is going to be Luke Appling. He is a shortstop. He is one of the best White Sox of all time. 77 WAR with the team. So yeah, he's added to this team. See how he can improve this roster and see if we can win ourselves a World Series. Alright, it is the All-Star break. Home run derby. Paul Konerko, but no Frank Thomas. Kind of hurts. Let's see where our guys are. We do have the entire right side of the field again, which is very nice. Chris Sale. Wow, Chris Sale have a year. Carlton Fisk, Paul Konerko, and Frank Thomas both being amazing. 103 RBIs. Jeez. Eddie Collins is a beast at second base, hitting 364. Luke Appling hitting 324. Playing shortstop. Not bad. And then in right field, you have Shoeless Joe, Paul Konerko. You already saw him. Let's go finish out the year. All right, we do finish 112 and 50. This is probably going to be the year, if I had to guess. Chris Sale just goes off. Everyone else also goes off. We probably led the league in most stuff. Yeah. Team is cracked. Pitching WAR, 6.1 for Chris Sale. See anyone else? No one else? Come on, show me one other person. Nope. Batting WAR, Eddie Collins had a 10.4, hitting 348. Shoeless Joe 8.9, Carlton Fisk 8.2, Luke 7.5, Frank 6.9, Paul Konerko with a 5.2, Luis Robert with a 4.5. I mean, like I said, you throw Luis Robert some help, he will go out there and he will do well for you. Like, is he going to be an MVP level candidate? Probably not. But he will go out there and he will dominate for you. That being said, let's see if they can win a World Series after we look at these awards. Chris Sale wins a Cy Young. Frank Thomas wins a Hank Aaron. Shoeless Joe wins Rookie of the Year. Chris Sale wins MVP. Batting title goes to Shoeless Joe. Okay. Chris Sale was 26-1 with a 2.36 ERA. Holy shit, Chris Sale. Have a year. But let's go see if they win a World Series. Baltimore. We beat Baltimore. And we get eliminated by the Blue Jays. Alright. You know the drill. We're going to go ahead, add another player to this team. And and then sim out another year. Alright, the next player we are adding to this roster is Minnie Minoso. White Sox legend. He is a beast. Yeah, I think he's definitely going to make this team a lot better. Hopefully this is a World Series winning team. Considering we have a stacked lineup now, let me show you really quickly. This lineup is incredible. We're missing like one other guy to fill this team out completely. Like I said, I really focused on the hitting because I feel like it does a lot more than the pitching in this game for some reason. But that being said, let's go ahead, let's sim out this season and see how they do. Alright, it is the All-Star break, home run derby. We don't have a single player for the first time in a very long time. Alright, that is a little scary. I didn't even see who was in the All-Star game. Wow. So we did have a lot, even though it's not going to show us everyone. But as you can see, we had pretty much everyone. Let's see, is Paul Konerko here? He is here. Not a great year from him. But we do have pretty much everyone here. It's just not going to like let everyone in because they need to put other players in for certain teams to meet the requirements. That's why a lot of the times you'll see starting pitchers not get included, like Chris Sale in this case. With that being said, let's go finish out the year, see if they can win themselves a World Series. Alright, we finished 103 and 59. Let's see how this team did. Chris Sale does what he does. The rest of the team also does what they do. Luke Appling, I mean, 4, 5, 6, 7. Even in a down year, he still makes it. And then Luis Robert, 8. Alright. And then pitching war, Chris Sale. Do we have anyone else? It doesn't appear so normally. Normally we don't. Normally it's just Chris Sale that carries this rotation. But how do you do? 26 and 4. 227. Yeah. That will certainly play. Certainly play. Let's see the awards. Cy Young goes to Chris Sale. Shoeless Joe Jackson gets AL Rookie of the Year. MVP goes to Chris Sale. Batting title goes to Minnie Minoso. Just go ahead, win yourselves a World Series, guys. Come on. And we get swept. Not swept. We actually win one, but we do lose. So I'm going to add the final piece to this lineup. So I will add him, and I will see you guys after. Alright, the final piece to the offense that we are adding is Robin Ventura. Hopefully this is what it takes to win a World Series. I probably don't. It's very hit or miss. We definitely need better pitching. But I feel like with the hitting we have, the pitching really shouldn't matter too much. But that being said, let's start simming, see if this is the year. Alright, it is the All-Star break. Who do we have in the home run derby? Frank Thomas, Carlton Fisk, and Paul Konerko. There is something you guys have to see, though. We are 74 and 23 at the All-Star break, which is absurd. All-Star voting, we do have a lot of players. Chris Sale, Carlton Fisk, obviously the two-headed monster at first base. Eddie Collins. Robin Ventura not doing well in his first year, unfortunately, but that's okay. It's going to happen. Luke Appling, Minnie Minoso, Luis Robert Jr. I mean, we could realistically have a full team in here. That being said, let's finish out the full rest of the season, see if they finally get it done. Alright, we finished 122 and 40. This has to be the year we win the World Series. Chris Sale does a great job. Aaron Judge has the highest batting WAR with all these legends in the team. I'm not even going to name them all. You guys see them. Every single one of our hitters is here. Pitching, Chris Sale. Anyone else? Doesn't look like it. Awards. Sale wins a Cy Young. Joe Jackson wins Rookie of the Year again. Frank Thomas MVP. Batting title Minnie Minoso. Let's guys, just get it done. You guys can do this. We sweep Minnesota. And we lose to the Mariners. All right. You know the drill. Let's go add a player. And let's go try again next year. All right. The next player we are adding is Mark Burley. Most famously known for his, what was it, no-hitter or perfect game. It was one of the two. Obviously, White Sox legend. So, yeah. He's added to this team. Let's go see if this is enough to get a World Series win. Alright, we're at the All-Star break. Home run derby. Show me something good. Frank Thomas, 37 tanks. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. go ahead, look at the All-Star voting. Mark Burley, 2.06 ERA, 17-0. Chris Sale is 8-2. I mean, it's not bad, but not what we're expecting. Carlton Fisk, Frank Thomas, Paul Konerko, Eddie Collins, Robin Ventura, Luke Appling, Manny Minoso in second, Luis Robert Jr. Like I said, you give him a good team, he will perform. Shoeless Joe Jackson hitting 370. Jeez, Shoeless. And then Paul Konerko in second for DH. All right, let's finish out the rest of the season. So Mark Burley does make us one game better. We're 121 and 41. League leaders, you guys see it all. Batting war, we have 6 guys in a row. Manny Minoso, Luis Robert Jr., and Paul Konerko. Pitching war, Mark Burley and Chris Sale get it done. Don't expect anything less. Cy Young goes to Mark Burley this time. We have 3 Gold Glove winners. Hank Aaron goes to Frank Thomas. Rookie of the Year, Joe Jackson. MVP, Frank Thomas. And then batting title, Shoeless Joe Jackson, who hit 347. 25-3. Drew Thorpe is third for Cy Young with an 18-1 record and a 3.66 ERA. All right. We have the Twins in the first round, who knock us out. All right, we're going for another season here. All right. All right, the next player we are adding is Rich Gossage, who did pitch here for the first 5 years of his career. He was a couple All-Stars. He was an All-Star multiple times here. So yeah. That being said, we're adding him to this team. He almost won a Cy Young in one of the years. I don't remember which one, but he was almost like number 5. So that being said, add him to the team. See if an elite closer is what makes us an actual World Series team. All right, we are at the All-Star break. Home Run Derby. Show me something special. Paul Konerko, Frank Thomas, the usual suspects. All-Star doesn't look as good as it usually does. Any starting pitchers? Chris Sale, Mark Burley, Rich Gossage. How are you doing? 30 saves, not bad. That being said, let's go finish out this year. All right, we finished 124 and 38, which is absurd to say out loud, but it's what happened. Rich Gossage, 49 saves. I mean, look at this team. Just look at it. Everyone's here. Pitching war, Mark Burley, Chris Sale. Show me Goose too. Wow, they had 4 starters in a row. That is crazy. Very good rotation right there. Is Goose Gossage here? Is my question. That would be... I know Jonathan Cannon is, though. Alright. Awards. Cy Young, Mark Burley. Gold Glove to Drew Thorpe and the other 2. Luke Appling, Rookie of the Year. Frank Thomas, MVP. Batting title, Shoeless Joe. Yeah, we need one here. There we go. Great sweep. 24-3, jeez. We are in the World Series against the Phillies. All right. Game 6. I'm not jumping in unless it's to make the final out. Let's rock some of these throwback home uniforms. Why not? Yeah, let's rock the 99s. Let's see. Who is on the bump? Wow, we don't really have anyone here on the bump. I'm going to throw Chris Sale on the bump. Why not? Doesn't have the most stamina, but he should be able to get a job done. Oh, yeah, he should. Oh, yeah, he should. 3-0. All right. Just keep it going, Chris Sale. All right, perfect. They're going to bring one back. Let's see. No, let's let Chris Sale see. Never mind. I don't know if I want to go Goose for 2 innings. Let's go Jonathan Cannon. They're going to tie it up. Jonathan Cannon's going to give him a single and a double play. All right. They have a chance to walk it off here.
Ball 4, take your base.
All right. Frank Thomas. It's all down to him. Can he do it?
3.
No, he cannot. All right. Carlton Fisk. We are one big swing away from ending this.
3.
Okay. We have 2 runners on for Robin Ventura. And he's going to ground out.
Ball 4, take your base. Take your base.
All right.
Ball 4.
Time to switch the pitchers. Give me Penn Murphy. We need 2 outs right here. All right, and we get out of it. Luis Robert, do a job. Fly out, ground out, single, single. Problem is we're getting our rally started too late. Oh, man. All right, come on, Minnie Minoso, get it started.
3. Ball 4, take your base.
Okay, there we go.
Ball 4,
There we go,
take
2
your base.
walks. And a double play.
3.
And they're going to hit a solo homer. All right. Pitching change. Gyro, give up a 3-run shot. Oh, an error. All right. Luis Robert, line out. Single. Fielder's choice. Looks like they're going to a Game 7. It will come down to a Game 7. See how they do. Let's see how they do. We do have, let's see, let's try different unis. Try the 1983s. We do have Mark Burley on the bump this game. I don't care whose turn in the rotation it is. Mark Burley, get up there. We need this team to come through. You guys are way too good to be losing in the World Series here.
He's safe.
There we go. They're starting to figure it out here. Ah, they tie it up. And they take a lead. All right.
3.
Can we get it done, please? Looks like we're gonna choke again. I'm just gonna bring in Goose Gossage. He's gotta get 3 outs here.
4. 3. Ball 4, take your base.
All right, Frank Thomas. Solo home run to tie it up. That's what I'm talking about. And we get a single.
Ball
Get him
4,
in.
take your
Get him
base.
in. Shoeless Joe, come on. 3-run homer. Shoeless Joe walks it off. We are World Series champions. Shoeless Joe hits a 3-run walk-off. We were down 1 in the 9th, and we come back and win it. That is exactly what I'm talking about. That is exactly what I'm talking about. World Series MVP Luke Appling. Playoff MVP Shoeless Joe. This is what the final team looks like. So it took us what? How many years? So it took us five years the first time to win it on accident. Then it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 12 total years to win it a second time. That being said, though, I did have a lot of fun with this. I have a ton of fun doing these things. If you guys want to see specific players, drop them down in the comments below. For specific teams, I mean. But yeah, that being said, thank you guys as always for watching. Stay tuned for the next one, and peace.